بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير. نبدأ الدرس الرابع إن شاء الله today. So let's begin lesson number 4. And in this lesson we have two new concepts which are basically the derived forms of the noun, the nouns that are derived from the verb. So one of them is Ismophile and the other one is Ismophile. And we have discussed about Ismophile and Ismophile in book number 2. And now here we will inshallah discuss about them in detail. So before we see what is Ismophile and Ismophile, first of all, we need to know that the noun, there are only three parts of speech in Arabic language. We have ismun, which is noun, fa'ilun, verb, and harfun, which is a particle. And we started with noun and we also discussed about the verb as well. And here we are talking about the forms of the noun that are derived from the verb. So we have two types of noun or two types of ism. One is ismun jamidun, which is a solid noun. And as it is clear from the name that this is a kind of noun that exists by itself and is not derived from a verb. We don't derive it from a verb or from a masdar. For example, rajulun, a man, shamsun, the sun, ardun, the earth. Okay, so as we know that they are not derived. So rajulun will be, the root letters will be ra, jim, and la, lam, and they are not derived. Similarly, shamsun and ardun. So they have their own root letters. The second one is ismun mushtaqun, the derived noun. So this is a kind of noun that is derived from a verb. So we derive it from a verb. For example, nasirun. So basically the root letters are nun, sad, and ra, nasara. And similarly, we have mansurun. So it is also the same like nun, sad, and ra. And mal'abun, as we know, that this is dharf makan, la'iba yal'abu, and the place where we play is called mal'ab, the playground. So this is what we call the derived forms of the noun, or ismun mushtaqun. The first kind of noun that we will discuss about is ismul fa'il. So when we talk about the derived forms of the noun, we have ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, and ismul ala, is af'alu tafdil, and also we have discussed about 4 or 5 of them, and inshallah the rest of the forms of the noun we will discuss inshallah in the coming lessons. So in this lesson we have ismul fa'il, active particle. So like in English, the person who teaches, we call him a teacher, and the person who writes, we call him a writer. In Arabic, a noun on the pattern of fa'ilun, is derived from the verb to denote the one who does the action. So the performer of the action or the doer of the action is called fa'ilun. The person who does the action or who stands back doing the action, we call him fa'ilun. And when we talk about the verbs that have 3 root letters, like triliteral verbs, the active particle comes on the pattern of fa'ilun. So which types of verbs? The verbs that have 3 root letters, like nasara, like daraba, like qatala, samia, qara'a. So the verbs that have 3 root letters, the doer will come on the pattern of fa'ilun. For example, nasara, he helped, and nasirun is the one who helps, helper. And ismul fa'il from the triliteral verbs will always consist of 4 letters, 3 root letters, and there will be the addition of alif. So after the first root letter, the addition of alif, as we can see here, we have na, sa, ra, and after noon when we add alif, and then we have e, which is si, and then we have tanween because we know it's a noun and the noun ends with a tanween. So this simply it becomes nasirun, the doer, the helper, the person who helps someone. And similarly from daraba, daribun. So as I told you, it's very simple. After the first root letter, we add alif, and then after that, we have ri, and then we have bun, so it becomes daribun, hitter. Then we have samia, he listened, and sami'un, a listener, and fataha, he opened, and fatihun, opener, or the one who opens. So as we can see here, ismul fa'il is simple to make, and we have discussed about it in book number 2. However, now, mashallah, you are advanced students, and we are learning now book number 3. So I would like to introduce a few more things about ismul fa'il, which I think didn't know before. So inshallah, we talk about them now. We have learned about 4 abwab, nasara, daraba, fataha, and samia, right? And the examples I gave them from the same 4 abwab. So we have nasara, daraba, samia, and fataha. The 5th one is called karuma. We know that the thalathi or triliteral verbs have 6 abwab, and the 5th one is karuma. It's a very special bab. All the verbs in this are intransitive, and they are lazim. Hence, there is no active particle in this bab. Instead of active particle, we get sifatun mushabbahatun. So we have something new here. We don't have active particle. We get sifatun mushabbahatun. This is basically adjective, but it has tashbih of adjective, like it resembles adjective. It resembles adjective, that's why we call it sifatun mushabbahatun. So for example, we have karuma, he became honorable. And why we say he became honorable? Because it is intransitive, so it gives the complete meaning by itself. It doesn't need object. Here now we don't have karimun, as you can see here on the pattern of fa'ilun, we don't have karimun. Instead, we have the pattern of fa'ilun, and on the pattern of fa'ilun, we have karimun, generous or honorable. So from bab karuma, we don't get active particle, we get sifatun mushabbahatun, and it comes on the pattern of fa'ilun. Similarly, we have aduma, he became great, and we have azimun. Similarly, we have nabula, and he became noble, and then we have nabilun. Okay, do you know the word qaribun? Yes, qaribun, near. So qaribun will be from qaruba. What about ba'idun?
Bauda.
Ba'uda, ba'idun. Okay, and then we have hasinun. Hasuna, hasinun, because we are looking at the verb, and the verb will be on the pattern of karuma. So it will be on the karuma, so it will be hasuna, and then we have hasinun. So mashallah, whenever you see a verb or a noun, on this pattern, then you can easily go back and you can figure out the root letters, and you can figure out, like for example, we have sharifun, sharufa. So you can see like this verb has come from this pattern, and that's why we have sifatun mushabbahatun. And sifatun mushabbahatun is a very important, by the way, derived form of the noun as well. And it is also derived form of the noun, and we will discuss about it inshallah in the coming lessons. Now let's see what is the difference between ismul fa'il and sifatun mushabbahatun. What is the difference? Ismul fa'il, in active particle or ismul fa'il, the action is temporary. For example, we say nasirun, so someone who helps. It doesn't mean that he's helping 24/7. He helped, and that's it. Or we say like daribun, someone is hitting someone. It doesn't mean that he's hitting someone 24/7. He hits someone for like a couple of minutes, and then that's it. So the action is temporary. Whereas in sifatun mushabbahatun, the action is permanent. So if someone is
Sigatul mubalagha, Ustad, like
also sigatul mubalagha as well. Yes, we have like fa'alun, and also we have fa'ilun. Like kareemun, that's right, yeah. But here we are not discussing about sifatul mubalagha, we are discussing about sifatul mushabbahatun. So for example, we say someone is bakhil, bakhilun, bakhula yabkhulu, so that means he's stingy forever. Azimun, nabilun, so that means this is the quality or the action is permanent. So ismul fa'il is temporary, and sifatun mushabbahatun, the action is permanent. Is this clear?
Alhamdulillah, yes, Ustad.
Okay, excellent. Now we are discussing about Ismul Fa'il. So please remember, when we say it, that means we are talking about Ismul Fa'il. It is often used as mudaf. So Ismul Fa'il is often used as mudaf, and it gives the meaning of a doer. So basically, when it is used as mudaf, it exactly gives the meaning of the doer. Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. Faliqu mudaf, al habbi wan nawa mudaf ilayh. And if you remember, in book 2, we have discussed the whole verse in detail in one of the lessons, the same verse. Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. يخرج الحي من الميت. The rest of the whole of the verse, we have discussed about this in book number 2. Indeed, Allah is the splitter of the grain and the fruit. So splitter, faliq. Falaqa yafluqu. Surah al-Falq. Yes, so that is for the like the dawn, when something comes out and something is split out, like the darkness is split out and the dawn comes out. That's why it is called Surah al-Falq. Falaq. Yes. Then we have number 4. It also gives the meaning of will or be going to. So it is used as mudaf. So when it is used as mudaf, it gives the meaning of the splitter, and it also gives the meaning of will or going to. The verse from the Quran, kullu shay'in halikun illa wajhah. Everything will be destroyed except his face. And then we know that this is balagha. Like when it is like except his face, that means except himself, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything will be destroyed. So halaka, yahliku, and then we have ismul fa'il, halikun. So here we can see that it is translated as will be destroyed or is going to be destroyed. So it also gives the meaning of will or going to. So it is used as mudaf, and it also gives the meaning of will or be going to. And one more thing that we know about this here, it also functions as amilun. Amilun, you remember, like amil, we have discussed about it in lesson number 1, like harf jar is amil, and we have also seen like that they have some impact on the following noun. So what does it do? And it makes its noun mansoob. For example, here, inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifatan. Okay, let's analyze it. Inni, indeed I. So inna is emphatic harf, yes. And then after that, al-ja al-mutakallim is ismu inna, and ja'ilun is khabaru inna. And fil ardi, as we know, that fil ardi is jar majroor. Yeah, jar majroor. Okay, now why khalifatan is mansoob? Khalifatan is mansoob because of ja'ilun. Ja'ilun. So this is maf'ul bihi of ja'ilun. Here ja'ilun is khabaru inna, but at the same time it has impact on the noun that follows it, and the noun is khalifatan. So as we can see here, that it also functions as amil and makes its noun mansoob. This is not always the case, but we need to know that ismul fa'il also functions as an amil, and we have a very good example here in the Quran. So these are few things that we need to know about ismul fa'il, because in the beginning we only knew that it means the doer, but now we know that it can be amil. We know that it is used as mudaf. We also know that it gives the meaning of will or I am going to, or going to. So inshallah, when we discuss the lesson now, you will see that we have a very good implication of these rules, inshallah, in the lesson. So the first one, ismul mushtaqun, is ismul fa'il, and the second one is ismul maf'ul. This is, as we know, passive particle. So we have seen that the verb are passive, and now we can see that noun also perform the function of passive. And this is the beauty of the Arabic language, that either we can use the verb or we can use noun as passive by itself as well. So here the noun will be on the pattern of maf'ulun, it is also derived from the verb, and it denotes the meaning of the receiver of the action. So the one who suffers or receives the action is called maf'ul. And again, for the verbs that have 3 root letters, it will be on the pattern of maf'ulun. So from nasara, ismul fa'il is nasirun, and ismul maf'ul is mansurun, one who is helped. And similarly from daraba, we have daribun wa madrubun, who is the one who is struck. Maghdub, from Surah Al-Fatiha, we have ghayril maghdubi. So ghadiba yaghdabu, and fahuwa ghadibun, and fadaka maghdubun. So the one who has the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So on the same pattern, madrubun. And similarly, we have samia, he listened, and masmu'un, that which is heard. And also it means audio, like audio, when you have the audio recording. So it will be at-tasjilu al-masmu'i, that means the audio recording. And then we have fataha, and then we have maftuhun, that what is opened. Al-babu maftuhun, the door is open.
Al-masjidu.
And al-masjidu and al-nafidatu maftuhatun, right? So don't forget about the feminine particle as well. So basically now from ismul fa'il, for example, from nasirun, we can make nasiratun, nasirun, nasiratun. And then we can make nasirani, nasiruna. And nasiratun, and then we have nasiratun, nasiratin, nasiratin. Similarly, we have mansurun, mansurani, mansuruna, and mansuratun, mansuratun, and mansuratin, mansuratin. Now you see how beautifully it is expanding, and mashallah, now you're able to make so many words only from 3 root letters. So we have learned about ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul, and also we have got some idea about sifatun mushabbahatun. So this is how basically, alhamdulillah, I have learned all of my Arabic from the books of the Madaris. And the books that they teach in Madaris, normally they teach on this pattern. So this is called as-sarfu as-saghiru, like the small conjugation, and then they have the bigger conjugation. So it starts from nasara yansuru nasran, fahuwa nasirun. And then this is for the active. And from the passive, it will be nusira yunsaru nasran, fadhaka mansurun. They only just use dhaka to differentiate. So you can also say fahuwa mansurun. Both of them are okay. So inshallah, whenever you come across a verb now, so from the verb, at least you should be able to say almost 8 or 7 things about it. Like we have nasara yansuru nasran, fahuwa nasirun. Nusira yunsaru nasran, fadhaka mansurun. Daraba yadribu darban, fahuwa daribun. Dariba yudrabu darban, fadhaka madrubun. Excellent. Madrubun, yes, perfect. So at least we can make these forms. And whatever noun, verb we come across, inshallah, from that verb, we can make these forms. And why we are discussing about them? Because we have a new kind of ma today, or harfi ma. So the first one that we learned in the beginning of book 1, that was ma al-istifhamiyya, which means what, right? So, and it is used for irrational beings. Masmuka, what is your name, meaning what? Madinuka, and so on. Then we have learned about ma al-nafiya, which is the ma of negation. Ma dhahabtu ila suqi, I didn't go to the market. And then we have also learned about ma al-mawsula, la a'budu, ma ta'budun, as you can see here. So I don't worship what you worship over there. And then we have ma at-ta'ajjubiyya, which is on the pattern of ma akfara, ma akfara. So qutila al-insanu ma akfarahu. Woe to man, how ungrateful he is. So as you can see here, exclamation. At-ta'ajjub means exclamation. Qutila al-insanu. Qutila, is it active or passive?
Passive.
Okay.
Passive.
Qatala, he killed. Qutila, he was killed. Right? But look at the translation. Why it is woe to man or to the mankind? So this is a fa'il dua. If you remember fa'il dua, fa'il dua in the past tense can be used to make dua for someone and to curse someone. To curse someone. For example, we have learned about radiyallahu anhu, we have learned about rahimahullah, hafidhahullah, right? In the past tense, we use past tense to make dua. Similarly, yes, qatalahum Allah. So qatala yuqatilu muqatalatan means to fight. But when it is in the Quran, qatalahum Allah, that means may Allah's curse be on them. And similarly here, قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ. Why woe to man? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says he is very ungrateful. مَا أَكْفَرَهُ is like the expression where it means how ungrateful he is. Yani all the time he is ungrateful. Whatever blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, we don't appreciate them. And we are always running about the things or for the things that we don't have. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that we are very ungrateful and we need to be grateful all the time. So we have learned about these ma tajubiyya. We know that it comes on the pattern of ma af'ala. For example, ma ajmala hadhihi sayyarata, right? How beautiful this car is. And we have seen there are so many examples that the noun that comes after that will be mansub, and the pattern is ma akfara. And who is basically in the place of maf'ul bihi, or in the place of the receiver of the action, ma akfarahu. And we can say ma ahsanaka, ma ajmalaka, how good are you, how nice are you. So we use this expression a lot. Then we have ma al-hijaziyatu. This is the one that we are going to learn today. And basically it does the function of laysa. It does the function of laysa. Do you remember the meaning of laysa? Not. And we know that after laysa, we also use ba, which is used for emphasis. Yeah, for emphasis, that's right. So basically this sentence is hadha basharun, and this is a man. But when we use ma with that, then we know this is mubtada and this is khabar. So mubtada will not have any impact on it. Ma will not have any impact on mubtada, but it gives a nasb to khabar. So it becomes ma hadha basharan. And this is not a human being. Hasha lillahi ma hadha basharan. So this is not a human being. Similarly, we say hadha basharun. This is a man. And laysa hadha basharan. So when we use laysa, it will have the same impact as laysa. So whenever you see this construction, that means it means not. It means not. This is not a human being. So it equals laysa. And similarly, it also comes with ba. وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And Allah is not unmindful of what you do. So it also has ba with that, the preposition for further emphasis. Do you remember the example of laysa with ba?
Yes, laysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin.
Alaysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin. Alaysa as-subhu bi qareeb. Yes, there are many examples. And do you remember any example of ma with ba? Ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnoon. Yes, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, saying to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnoon. And Surah Al-Mujadala.
Allah, you're not like mad because
yes,
people are
right. As the people say. And then we have in Surah Al-Mujadala, ma hunna ummahatihim. So it will be hunna, it will be hunna ummahatuhum, ummahatun, ummahatin, ummahatin. But when we use ma with that, then it becomes ma hunna ummahatihim.
Status of nasab, Ustad?
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will be. No, because of yes, ma gives nasab to
hunna ummahati.
Ummahatihim. So because hunna is mubtada and ummahat is khabar. So it has impact on the khabar, like laysa has impact on the khabar. So we wouldn't say that this had ismu ma and basharin is khabaru ma, but it has the same impact like laysa. So we say ismu laysa and khabaru laysa, but I'm not sure about ma if we can say that or not. But one thing is confirmed, that it has the same function as laysa, and it is called ma al-hijaziyah. So now we have learned like 5 types of ma, and there are like 2 or 3 more, which inshallah we will discuss about in the coming lessons. And now inshallah we start our lesson number 4, الدرس الرابع. هذا الدرس الرابع. This is lesson number 4. And in this lesson, inshallah, now we will see that there is extensive use of the derived forms of the verb of ismul fa'il and ismul maf'ul. Al-bara'u, okay, it is also a derived form of the verb, which is from bara'a yabra'u bar'an, but it is not on the pattern of fa'ilun or maf'ulun. So the name can be derived from a verb, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it will be on the pattern of fa'ilun or it will be on the pattern of maf'ulun. Al-bara'u, nuridu, we want, an-na'rifa, to know, natijat al-ikhtibari, the result of the exam, al-shahari, the monthly, ya ustadu, o ustad. We want to know the result of the monthly exam, o teacher. Nuridu, we want, fa'il plus fa'il. Where is maf'ul bihi?
Natija. Ustad?
No. Look, now we are learning, inshallah, we have to learn the construction of the sentences so that when an-na'rifa, excellent. Basically, the whole sentence, yeah, the whole sentence is maf'ul bihi. Excellent. So now we also know that a sentence, the jumla kamila, al-jumlatul kamilatu, it can be maf'ul bihi. And now we will say that this sentence is in the place of maf'ul bihi. So an-na'rifa is basically, it will be ma'rifatan if we use masdar. Nuridu ma'rifatan natijat al-ikhtibari. We want to know the result of the exam, but we can also use an-na'rifa, which is called al-masdaru al-mu'awwalu. So there are 2 types of masdar, al-masdar al-sarih, like ma'rifatan, and this is called al-masdar al-mu'awwal, that this is interpreted masdar. So we want to know nuridu an-na'rifa, so you can replace it with the real masdar, which will be ma'rifatan. That's number 1. Okay, now natijata. Why natija is mansub?
The maf'ulun bihi for na'rifa.
Na'rifa, excellent. And why na'rifa is mansub?
Because
Because of an. Excellent. Excellent. So na'rifa we want to know. So na'rifa fa'il plus fa'il, and natijata is maf'ul bihi. And al-ikhtibari shahri, the monthly exam, and natijata is mudaf, and al-ikhtibari shahri is mudaf ilayh. All right, what kind of ya is this?
Shahri, this is
mansub.
Nisbah, yeah, nisbah. Yeah, the one that we discussed in the previous lesson. Shahrun, month, shahriyun, monthly.
Monthly.
Excellent. So, ash-shahri, ya ustadu, or teacher. And we know that ya ustadu is harf nida and munada. Harf nida and munada. Excellent. So, mashallah, now this is if we are able to analyze the text like this. Inshallah, analyzing the text of the Quran will be much easier for us. Al-harithu. Figure out the pattern. Fa'ilun.
Fa'ilun.
So fa'ilun, the doer, yeah. So haratha yahruthu harthan. Like in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, verse number 63. Afara'aytum ma tahruthun. So when you are reciting the Quran, inshallah, when you focus on the Quran and you see like the present tense and the past tense, especially the present tense, it will be much easier for you to figure out the past tense and the present tense. أَفَرَأَيْتُمْ مَا تَحْرُثُونَ. So that means حَرَثَ يَحْرُثُ حَرْثًا. And فَهُوَ حَارِثٌ. فَهُوَ حَارِثٌ. And as we have discussed previously, like sometimes the Arabs, they like to use al with them, and it's not like with all the names, very few names they have al with them. Kam rasiban fi faslina ya ustadu. Rasiban.
How many are fail?
How many failures are there in our classroom? Rasaba yarsubu rusuban fahuwa rasibun. Fahuwa rasibun. So rasiban is on the pattern of fa'ilan. Why is it mansub and why is it singular?
The
tamyiz kam, yeah. So we know that after kam, the noun is normally singular and it is
mansub.
common noun and it is mansub. Yes.
Mansoob.
Yes, kam rasiban fi faslina ya ustadu. How many failures are there in our class? Al-mudarrisu. Mudarrisu is also ismul fa'il. But it is not from triliteral verbs, it is from mazid fi. Darrasa yudarrisu tadrisan fahuwa mudarrisun. Al-mudarrisu kullukum najihun walhamdulillah. All of you are successful and praise be to Allah. Najihun, najaha yanjahu najahan fahuwa najihun, on the pattern of fa'ilun. Khalidun, also on the pattern of fa'ilun. Khalada yakhludu khuludan fahuwa khalidun, to live forever. Okay, please remember that when we have it becomes alam now, it's the name of a specific person. So now it doesn't necessarily mean that we have. Sorry?
What is the meaning of Haris?
To sow, the one who sows, to sow the seed, the person who sows the seed in the field. Harith. Afara'aytum ma tahruthun, don't you see what you are sowing? Like whatever you are doing.
How it brings forth the growth here, that's what he said.
Again, please.
That's what what you said was, and then the next thing will be like how he brings forth this thing is that you bring forth or that we bring forth.
We bring both.
The production. Yeah.
Production. All right, that's right. And then we have khalada yakhludu khuludan fahuwa khalidun. So what I was saying that when it is the name of when it's the name of the person, it becomes ism alam. When it is ism alam, it doesn't necessarily mean that we will implement the meaning as well, because khalidun means someone who lives forever. If someone has the name Khalidun, doesn't mean that he will live forever. If it is used in the Quran, or if it is used with respect to the Jannah or the Akhirah, hum fiya Khalidun, then it's fine. But when it's the name of the person, then we wouldn't translate it like this, that this person will live forever. So we need to think about this, or we need to know this as well. So Khalidun, someone who lives forever, but doesn't mean that when someone has a name, he will live forever. Nahnu masruruna, we are happy. So masroor is on the pattern of maf'ul. Maf'ulun, maf'ulani, maf'uluna. Masroorun, masroorani, masrooruna. Sarra yasurru, sururan, and surra yusarru, masrooran, someone who is made happy. So nahnu masroorun, we are happy. Hal min rasibin.
This is something like a state, Ustad. Nahnu masroorun. This is a separate kind of usage, I guess.
La, because نحن مبتدا مسرورون خبر. We are happy.
Okay.
It's very simple. And similarly here كلكم ناجحون. كلكم is مبتدا, ناجحون is خبر.
Okay, I'll get back to you, Ustad. I think it has a separate this thing, because it says like we all are happy. It says something about the state or some kind of usage is there, Ustad, regarding this.
Well, to be honest, if we talk about the implications of the grammar and the Arabic rules, we can find out there are so many things over there, but inshallah, we will stick to the basics as of now, so that at least we are able to understand what we are doing now. So we will simply say nahnu is mubtada and masroorun is khabar. Hal min rasibin fil fusul al-ukhra. Are there any failures in other classrooms? Okay. Okay, hal min rasibin, do you remember this construction? Hal min mazid. In the previous, what kind of min is this? Min az-zaida. Min az-zaida. And the condition is that before this there has to be istifham, or there has to be negation. Yes. And after that the noun is always nakira. I hope you remember these things. So hal min mazidin, as you can see there. So before this there has to be istifham, question, and after that the noun will be nakira. Fil fusul al-ukhra, in the other classroom. Fusul al-ukhra. Ukhra is used for singular feminine. Why we have ukhra?
Because fusul is the
plural of fasalun. So the rule of thumb is that like when there is a broken plural, the sifa will be always feminine singular. However, in the Quran we have seen that it can be plural as well. Okay, what will be the construction of this? Hal min rasibin. This is a nominal sentence. Where is mubtada and where is khabar?
Khabar min rasibin.
Excellent. Yes.
Min is min zaida, no?
Exactly.
Then mubtada?
So rasibun, it will be basically rasibun, right?
Yeah.
Rasibun. So
Because of
منصوب.
min, it has become this thing.
min, okay. So it will be
جزم.
basically hal rasibun fil fusul al-ukhra. So is there any failure in the other classrooms? However, please remember that rasibun is a common noun, and normally common noun is not mubtada. But if you remember, we have discussed that when we have hal or hamza before this, then it can be mubtada as well. Ilahum ma'allah. Do you remember that example? Ilahum ma'allah. We have discussed in book number 2 that when there is a hamza or hal in the beginning of the sentence, then the common noun can also be a mubtada. It can be a mubtada. So it will be basically hal rasibun fil fusul al-ukhra. Are there any failures in other classrooms? And hal min rasibin, here rasib is mubtada and fil fusul al-ukhra is jar majroor, which is in the place of khabar. So if you are able to understand once, inshallah, then it will be easier for you to implement it on the rest of the sentences. Did you get the idea now?
Yes.
Okay, why a
Alhamdulillah.
common noun? Why a common noun be a mubtada?
Preceded by a question.
Excellent.
It can be
Whether we have hal before it or we have hamzatul istifham before it, then it will be used as mubtada. And the example in book 2, ilahum ma'allah, and hal min rasibin fil fusul al-ukhra. Na'am, walakinna ar-rasibina qaliluna. But the failures are a few. Why it is ina?
إن
And why it is una? Okay,
لكن
lakinna, yeah, ismu lakinna will
لكن
be mansoob, and khabar lakinna will be marfu.
مرفوع.
Excellent. So that's why it is walakinna rasibina una ina qaliluna are a few. Man katibu hadha ala saburati. Katibu hadha. What kind of construction is this?
It's a question. Man
Who wrote this?
La katibu hadha. What kind of this is incomplete construction. What kind of construction is this? First of all, we need to look at this. At this.
هذا
This one is the ism file.
Please here, see here. If we have a noun that doesn't have tanween, a noun that doesn't have al, and the noun after that, mudaf. Excellent. Yes, that's right. Hada can be mudaf ilayh because it's a proper noun. So man katibu hada, who is the writer of this? Ala saburati, on the board. Hada referring to something that is written on the board. So who is the writer of this? Like this thing that is written on the board. So katibu hada is mudaf ilayh. And we have discussed in the beginning of the lesson that when it is used as mudaf ilayh, katibin is from kataba yaktubu fahuwa katibun, right? So the writer, so who is the writer of this on the board? Hamidun, again on the pattern of fa'ilun. Hamida yahmadu hamdan fahuwa hamidun. All right. Ma nadri, we don't know. Dara yadri fahuwa darin. Ma nadri, we don't know. And when we use ma with the present tense, that means for the current situation. And as of now, we don't know. Wama yantiqu anil hawa. Also, when anil hawa. So also, wama yantiqu, as you have example from the Quran, that ma can be used with the present tense as well. And here ma is also used with the present tense. However, it is used with the past tense most of the times. But it's possible to use it with the present tense as well. Ma nadri, we don't know. Wajadnahu maktuban indama dakhalna al-fasla. Wajadnahu, we found it. Who referring to the something that is written on the board? Hada refers to hada. Okay. Wajadna, we found. Wajadnahu, we found it. Maktuban,
already written.
Written. Maktuban, written. Yeah. Excellent. So katibun and maktuban. Katibun. So kataba yaktubu kitabatan fahuwa katibun. Kutiba yuktabu kitabatan fahuwa maktubun. So something that is written. Okay. So wajadnahu maktuban indama dakhalna al-fasla. We found it written over there when we entered the classroom. يترك, it is left. What is left? The noun that comes after that, if it has dhamma, that means this is naib al-fa'il. يترك الفصل, the classroom is left مفتوحا, open. فيدخله, and enter it. Who referring to the classroom? طلاب, students. من جهات مختلفة, from different directions. The classroom is left open and the students enter it from different directions. And here we have مختلفة because jihad is the plural, broken plural. So that's why the adjective that we have used for it is also singular feminine. من جهات مختلفة, from different directions. So يترك الفصل مفتوحا, the classroom is left open. فيدخله طلاب من جهات مختلفة, and the students enter it from different directions. Hamid says ما ندري, we don't know. وجدناه مكتوبا عندما دخلنا الفصل. Sorry, so that's the same. Okay, so المدرس, the teacher. ماذا نعمل؟ فالقفل مكسور. What do we do when the lock is broken? ماذا نعمل? What do we do? And you remember the difference between يفعل and نعمل? يفعل is something that we do whether intentionally or unintentionally, but نعمل is something that we do only intentionally. ماذا نعمل فالقفل مكسور. What should we do or what can we do when the lock is broken? مكسور on the pattern of فعول, broken. مفعول. هل من ذاهب إلى السوق اليوم? Is
Sir, what is the difference between fa'ala and amala?
Irfan, we discussed it earlier, like in book 2. Fa'ala yaf'alu is to do something unintentionally or intentionally, but na'malu is something that we do only intentionally.
Okay.
Like the example we talked about, amila ya'malu is the breathing. Breathing is something whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally. But when you do something and you know that you are supposed to do it, and then you have to do it intentionally. Like إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they did good deeds. So they did good deeds knowingly. هل من ذاهب إلى السوق اليوم? So what will be the translation of ذاهب here?
Anyone who is
Going to, right? I told you that it can be translated as going to. When it comes as mudaf, mudaf alayh, then it will be translated as doer. But if it is not used as mudaf alayh, then it will be someone like doing that action.
To the future.
Again, please.
Something which refers to the future, like will be going to.
Will be going to, yes, or present continuous. So when we say yadhabu is basically present tense or future tense. He goes or he will go. But if you want to look at the perfect example of present continuous, we can use Ismophile about the present continuous. So هل من ذاهب إلى السوق اليوم? Is someone going to the market today? غالبا. Yes, غالبا. Again, غالب يغلب غلبا فهو غالب. As someone who overcomes. So it's the name of a person. أنا ذاهب إن شاء الله. I am going if Allah wills. المدرس أرجو أن تشتري قفلا جيدا. I request you to buy a good lock. أرجو, I request. رجاء يرجو, رجاء. And we have أرجو, I request. Okay. So أرجو is فعل plus fa'il. Where is مفعول به?
أن تشتري طفلا جيدا.
Okay. تشتري. Why تشتري has فتحة?
Because of the effect
of an. Okay. Why is قفلا منصوب?
نشتري مفعول
به. It is مفعول به of تشتري. أنت تشتري. Excellent. أنت تشتري. أرجو أن تشتري قفلا جديدا. I request you to buy a new lock. غالبا إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. المدرس اقرأ. And when we connect it with كسرة, اقرأ الآية الواردة. Read the coming verse. في الدرس in the lesson يا عارف or عارف. Okay. Warada yaridu wardan fahuwa waridun. Waridun, the one who comes. Waridatun, for the feminine, who is coming. Iqra'il ayat al-waridata, read the following or the coming verse. So please, whenever you make Ismophile, try to make it for both masculine and feminine. For example, Nasara yansuru nasran fahuwa nasirun fahiya nasiratun, so that you get used to both. Arifun, arifa yarafu, and then we have arifun, fahuwa arifun. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Okay, so can you do the conjugation of, analysis of A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim? A'udhu, A'adha ya'udhu. So I seek refuge. Okay. Fil mudari, okay, excellent.
Billahi jar majroor.
Excellent.
Minash shaitanir rajim, also jar majroor.
Perfect.
Muta'allaq
bil fa, okay, and also shaitan is masuf and ar-rajim is sifa.
Yeah, rajim is sifa.
Okay, and then we have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So again, ba is harf jar. Ism is majroor because of ba.
And also mudaf, huwa mudaf.
Again, lafzul jalala mudaf ilayh. Then we have ar-Rahmani. Sifat al-ula. الصفة الأولى لله سبحانه وتعالى. And الرحيم الصفة الثانية. Excellent. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us
it is incomplete sentence, no?
Incomplete, yeah. Okay, yes. Which one? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir
Rahim. Yeah, basically the mubtada is mahdhuf. Yani abda'u Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I start in the name of Allah. So or bada'i, my beginning from the, so when you look at the translation, especially in Urdu, it will be I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is basically abda'u, bada'a yabda'u, bada'an to start, abda'u Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, so that you're right. This is a khabar and this the mubtada is mahdhuf. And we have to recite a'udhu billah before the recitation of the Quran, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in the Quran. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. So when you recite the Quran, first seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the expelled from his mercy. Yeah. So inshallah, we will learn so many things that whenever we are starting our recitation, we have to start with the ta'awwudh. It is called ta'awwudh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and Bismillah is called basmalah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay. Now we have was-sariqu. This is called waw al-istinafiyah. It is used to begin a sentence. We haven't discussed about it. Sariqu, from someone who steals. We discussed yesterday. Saraqa yasriqu saraqan fahuwa sariqun. Was-sariqu, and the feminine will be was-sariqatu. Faqta'u, qata yaqta'u, and then when we use fa with that, it will be faqta'u aydiyahuma. Why ya has fatha?
Excellent.
So word aydin is the plural of yadun. So aydin, aydiyan. Yes.
Manqus also, no?
This is ismul manqus, and whenever it is mansub, it will take fatha. Whenever it is marfu or majroor, it will not take fatha, but whenever it is mansub, it will take fatha. So whenever you see it in the Quran, that means it is in the place of mansub. So why it is mansub? Because of fa'il al-amr, faqta'u, and after that we know the noun is always mansub. Huma, referring to asariq wa sariqa. Jaza'am bima kasaba for two, right? So it is basically the compensation for what they have done. Jaza'an, please remember that whenever you say to someone Jazakallah, so you must say Jazakallahu khairan, completed, because jaza could be a favor, and it could also be a like punishment or compensation as well. For example, here it is used in the context of punishment or as compensation. So as for male and female thieves, cut off their hands for what they have done. And here jazaan is used as hal, and inshallah, this kind of hal we will discuss inshallah in the coming lessons. Masha Allahu al-mudarrisu innaka qari'un jayyidun. Indeed, you are a very good reader. Qara'a yaqra'u fahuwa qari'un. Jayyidun is the sifa for qari'un. Indeed, you are a very good reader. Lam asma'ka. I didn't hear you. تقرأ القرآن while reciting the Quran من قبل earlier. أحافظ أنت? Are you حافظ? Are you the one who has memorized the Quran? So لم أسمعك, I didn't hear you. تقرأ القرآن, also it is used as حال. I have never heard you while reciting the Quran. And before this, I never came across you while you are reciting the Quran. من قبل, what do you remember about من قبل?
The thing is deleted, Ustad, because this is
مضاف إليه is
mabni.
deleted, yeah. So
مضاف
من قبل, yeah, من قبل is used as مضاف. Yes. Yes, من قبل ومن بعد. If you have من قبل ذلك ومن بعد ذلك, if you have مضاف إليه, then it will take كسرة, otherwise it will be مبني إلى الضمة. أحافظ أنت? Are you a حافظ? أعرف نعم. المدرس ما أنا بغافل عما تعمل يا منصور. I am not unaware of what you are doing, O Mansur. Ma al-Hijaziyah. Ba al-Za'idah. Or, yeah, for emphasis. So, I am not unaware. So, ghafil is also the derived form of ghafala. غفل يغفل غفلة فهو غافل. غفل يغفل غفلة فهو غافل. ما أنا بغافل عما تعمل يا منصور. Mansur is also, it is on the pattern of maf'ul, yeah. So I am not unaware of what you are doing, O Mansur. أرجو أن تسمح لي, and now he's making kind of excuse maybe. أن تسمح لي بالخروج. I request you to allow me to go out. فإني, because I أريد أن أذهب إلى الناسخ. I want to go to the copier or the typewriter. نسخ ينسخ نسخا فهو ناسخ. So it could be in the copier. So I want to go to the photocopier. Inshallah, we can complete it today. منصور أرجو أن تسمح لي بالخروج. Okay, so again, المدرس لا أسمح لك بذلك. I will not allow you to do that. So سمح يسمح سمحا, and سمح be to allow someone to do something. Yeah, I will not allow you to do that. بذلك يعني to go out. ألا تعرف أن الخروج, because of أن it will be منصوب. في أثناء الدرس ممنوع. Don't you know that going out during the lesson is not allowed? It is not allowed to exit the classroom during the lesson. And في, as we know here, the whole construction, inshallah, you know this now. في أثناء الدرس, during the lesson, ممنوع is forbidden. منع يمنع مانع. منع يمنع ممنوع. Excellent. And then we have منصور. Yes, Mansur says, أنا آسف يا أستاذ. I am sorry, O teacher. أسف يأسف أسفا فهو آسف. So when you say أنا آسف, I am sorry, it is also on the pattern of فاعل. أسف يأسف أسفا فهو آسف. So أنا مبتدا and آسف خبر. Very simple. أتذكر, do you remember? أتذكر, ذكر يذكر. الحديث الواردة, the coming hadith في الدرس السابق, in the previous lesson. So سابق is سبق يسبق سبقا فهو سابق. So في الدرس السابق, do you remember the hadith, the following hadith that we discussed in the previous lesson? منصور نعم. عن سهل بن سعد عن ابن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال أنا وكافل اليتيم في الجنة هكذا. أنا, me, Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم, and we know this is العطف. كافل اليتيم. So كافل, basically it was كافل. So it is basically Kafala yakfulu, and yes, kafala yakfulu, kifalatan, and we have this word, very common word, kafil, in Saudi Arabia or in the Middle East countries, as someone who is caretaking of someone. Ana wa kafilul yatimi fil jannati hakadha. Me and the caretaker of the orphan will be in Jannah like this. Wa ashara, and he pointed, bis sababati wal wusta, so he pointed towards the index finger and the middle finger. Wa farraja yufarriju tafrijan, and he separated bainahuma, between both of them, huma referring to the fingers. Muttafaqun alayh, it is agreed upon. Ahsanta ya Mansur, you have done a good job, O Mansur. Arju an takuna, I hope that sami'an lidarsi wa fahiman lahu, that you listened to the lesson and you understood it. Okay, Arju, I hope. It is used to request as well. So sometimes it is translated as I request, and sometimes it is used as I hope. So Arju, I hope, an takuna sami'an lidarsi wa fahiman lahu. I hope you listened to the lesson and you understood it. Okay, so Arju, fa'il, and the rest of the sentence is maf'ul bihi. But why we have sami'an and fahiman?
Sami'an.
There are many things that you have forgotten. Kana yakunu. What do you remember about kana yakunu? Kana yakunu. Ismu kana wa khabaru kana. Kana Allahu aliman hakima. We have discussed about it in lesson number 1, marfu'at. Kana Allahu aliman hakima, that ismu kana is always marfu and khabaru kana is always mansub. So takuna, an takuna, yani anta, right? Anta takun, yani anta is over there. So anta is fa'il, takuna is fa'il, and samian is maf'ul bihi. Arju an takuna samian, that you listened lidarsa, to the lesson, wa fahiman, and you understood lahu, it. So I hope that you listened to it carefully and then you understood it. Now, did you know why samian and fahiman are mansub? Because they are khabru kana. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Kufuwan, because of yakun. Kana yakunu. So yakun, there is huwa yakun, yani fa'il plus fa'il, and kufuwan ahad is the khabru kana. So now, inshallah, we are going to analyze the text of the Quran. So that's why you need to remember these things. So I expect from you, arjukum, that you remember everything that we have discussed up till now, so that when we analyze the text of the Quran, we find these things easier to understand and to discuss. Alhamdulillah. That's right, yes.
Yeah.
Ma'tufan ala, that's right, because we have waw over there. And sami'an and fahiman, they are on the pattern of sami'a yasma'u fahuwa sami'un, fahima yafhamu, fahamatan fahuwa fahimun. Excellent. So we have, it's a very good practice for ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, and you find them a lot in the Quran, to be honest. They are used a lot, and now we can make from them, we can make dual, we can make plural, and we can also make like ismul fa'il, ismul maf'ul, most of the things that we have already learned, and inshallah much more to go. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام.